My dear students, today I'm going to give you some information about concept attainment model. For the introduction, creating a favorable learning environment for meeting the diverse needs of learners is a challenging task for critical pedagogy, as it may cause meaningful learning which produce powerful learners. A model of teaching is a description of a learning environment. According to Paul D. Egan and others, 1979, teaching models are the prescriptive teaching strategies designed to accomplish particular instructional goals. There exist many teaching models where Joyce and Weil group the models on the basis of specific educational goals and means into four families. They are information processing model, social interaction model, personal development model, and behavior modification model. The focus of the methods associated with information processing approach are linked more to the concepts and principles developed in cognitive psychology. Within this cognitive domain, there is an important set of goals which, according to Joyce and Weil, are the ways in which people handle stimuli from the environment, organize the data, sense problems, generate concepts and solutions to the problems, and employ verbal and nonverbal symbols. In this lesson, we will learn about what a concept is, how to attain a concept, and what are the roles of students and teachers in this model. First, let us come to what is a concept. A concept is a general category which is used to group similar events, ideas, or objects, people, or experiences whose members share certain properties. They are an abstractions and do not exist in the real world. Only individual examples of concepts exist, which helps us to organize vast amounts of information into a manageable unit. Concept may be thought of as a mental framework of an event or an object. So, any event or object is a concept because it has some identifiable properties or ideas associated with it. Now let us come to the elements of concept. Bruner has discussed 5 elements of concepts. These are number 1, name, number 2, exemplar, number 3, attributes, number 4, attributes value, and number 5, definition or rule. Name means the term or label given to a concept. An exemplar means specific instances of a given category that is used to classify an item. Some are positive and some are negative. And attributes means each exemplar of a concept can be described in terms of its basic characteristic called attributes that help to distinguish instances of the concept from non-instances. Attribute value refers to the degree to which an attribute is presented in any particular example. And by definition or rule, it is a statement specifying the essential attributes of a concept. In order to attain a particular concept, Joyce and Weil in 1972 designed an approach to teaching called concept attainment model. This model is historically built around the studies of thinking conducted by Jerome S. Bruner, Jacqueline Goodnow, and George Austin in 1956. The model comes under the category of information processing family and is also known as Bruner's concept attainment model. Concept attainment model is an indirect instruction strategy that uses a structured inquiry process and design to teach concept and help students become more effective at learning concepts. Having selected CAM as a means of teaching a particular concept, the teacher will undertake these steps. They are: number 1, planning for concept attainment activities. Number 2, implementing concept attainment activities. And number 3, evaluating concept attainment activities. These steps will be described by incorporating them in the elements of basic teaching model. Number 1, planning for concept attainment activities. While planning, the teacher will have to identify specific goals or focus. Select suitable exemplars so as to illustrate a focus concept. Then sequence the exemplars of the focus concept and present them using a suitable medium as shown in the figure 1. Several concept attainment teaching models have been developed. The original work of Joyce and Weil, 1978, mentions 3 variations or models of concept attainment. Number 1, the reception learning model. Number 2, the selection learning model. And number 3, the model for unorganized material. The 3 variations of model have the common target or focus, that is, to teach a particular concept. Now, let us come to the next step, that is implementing concept attainment activities. This step is also known as the syntax of the model. It involves 3 phases as shown in figure 2. The 3 models have a slight different sequence of activities or syntax, but all are developed from a common conceptual base. A comparative study of the models will help us to know about the role of teachers and students in the process of concept attainment. Phase 1 activities: presentation of data and identification of the concept. The syntax of the reception model of concept attainment are: the teachers present 2 exemplars initially labeled as yes or no in a pre-arranged order. The presented data may be in the form of pictures, sketches, diagrams, events, or any other. Learners are then asked to compare and justify the attributes of different examples and form some hypothesis about the concept. In the end, the teacher asks the student to name the concept and state the definition of the concept according to essential attributes. Now, let us come to the syntax of the selection model. These are: the procedure begins with the presentation of several instances representing the various combination of attributes of a concept by the teacher. The teacher then draws the attention of the students to some of the examples presented which illustrate the concept. Then the teacher introduces instances which illustrate the positive example of the concept. Here the student task is to inquire which examples are positive based on the first positive instance given by the teacher. The students may select the examples in any order at a time, thus generate hypotheses and test them and arrive at the definition of the concept. Now let us come to the phase 2 activities, that is testing attainment of the concept. For testing the attainment of the concept in the reception model, learners test their attainment of the concept first by correctly identifying additional unlabeled examples provided to them by the teachers. Learners were then asked to generate their own examples. After this, the group teacher as well as the student, they will revise their choice of concept or attributes and confirms or not confirms the original hypothesis. For testing the attainment of the concept in case of the selection model, it is quite similar with that of the reception model. Here, in this phase, the teacher presents unlabeled examples. Then the students categorize them as positive or negative. The teacher probes the reason and confirms their hypothesis. When the teacher becomes sure that the students have attained the concept, the teacher names the concept and restate the definition according to the essential attributes. Now let us come to the phase 3 activities, which is analysis of thinking strategies. For the analysis of thinking strategies in the case of reception model, the teacher analyzes the thinking strategies employed by the students. Here, the learners can report and describe their pattern of hypothesizing, whether they focus on attribute or concept, whether they did so one at a time or several at once, and how they changed their hypothesis when it was not confirmed. Gradually, by repeating the above process, the student can compare the effectiveness of different strategies and will eventually attain the desired focus concept. In case of the selection model, the teacher analyzed the thinking strategies employed by the students, which according to Bruner and his associates are: number 1, simultaneous scanning; number 2, successive scanning; number 3, conservative focusing; and number 4, focus gambling. In this model, the students may ask about their own examples in order to attain the concept. The students also control the sequences of examples by choosing the ones they want to inquire about. The students report their pattern of thinking, test hypothesis, focus attributes or concepts, and process of hypothesizing with all its trials and error. In general, this model places the responsibility for concept attainment and attributes tracking in the hands of the students. Now let us come to an organized material model. This mode of concept attainment model is much more a group discussion than an instructional exercise, as in the case of reception and selection models. In this, role of the teacher is to facilitate group discussion. The learners attain concept from unorganized material. The procedure involves: number 1, locating the concept; number 2, identifying the attributes used; number 3, discussing the adequacy and appropriateness of the attributes; and number 4, comparing the examples to other passages using the same concept. The syntax of this mode of concept attainment is also quite different from those of the reception and selection model. It consists of 2 phases. Phase 1 relates to the description of the concept as it is used, and phase 2 relates to the evaluation of the concept. It relates to the adequacy and appropriateness of concept being used. Now let us come to the next element, that is the social system of the model. In general, the model has a moderate structure. The reception-oriented concept attainment model in particular is highly structured and controlled by the teacher, and it gradually moves from high to moderate structure. The 3 major functions of the teacher are to record, prompt, and present additional data. It presents a direct way of teaching concept attainment to the students. The selection-oriented model, it is relatively moderate in structure, with students assuming more initiative for inductive process. It permits more autonomy to the students by giving more freedom to their own initiation and control. Unorganized material-oriented CAM assigns more responsibilities to the students in the process of concept attainment. In brief, all the three models, as Joyce and Weil, 1978, constitute a continuum from direct instruction in concept theory and the teacher-structured condition to student control and application in naturalistic unorganized data situation as shown in the figure. Now let us come to the next element of the model, that is the principles of reaction. The model emphasizes teacher support during the flow of the lesson with due regard to hypothetical nature of discussion. Pupils should be helped in the process of formulating hypotheses and creating a dialogue in which students test their hypotheses against each other. The teacher should focus pupils' attention on specific features of examples and finally assist the pupils in discussing and evaluating their thinking strategies. The teacher should encourage analysis of the merits of various strategies rather than attempting to seek the one best strategy for all people in all situations. He has to maintain record by keeping track of the hypothesis about the concept of the attributes as they are mentioned by the students. Now let us come to the next element of the model, that is support system. Concept attainment lessons are required to be designed in such a way that the concepts are embedded in the material with positive and negative exemplars, which can be pointed out to the students. The student's job in this is to attain the concept that has been previously selected by the teacher. When the students are presented with an example, they have to describe its characteristics and attributes, which can be displayed on the blackboard or otherwise. Now, let us come to the last step, that is evaluating concept attainment activities. Here, teachers will give the students a sample which is not labeled. Check their thinking in categorizing a sample. In conclusion, the concept attainment model as an instructional design will help us to accomplish several instructional goals depending on emphasis of the particular lesson. They are designed for instruction on specific concepts and the nature of concepts known as instructional effect. They also provide practice in inductive reasoning, tolerance of ambiguity, and logical reasoning in communication, and also opportunities for building students' concept attainment strategies, thus referred to as nurturance effect. Thank you.